y'all, and welcome to today's video. I have been testing and trying lots of new eyeshadow palettes lately. I've been using them and now I'm ready to give you my full review, my full thoughts on these palettes. We have a lot to talk about though, so let's jump into it. Getting started, I have my palettes here in front of me. Now, if you want to see in-depth thoughts on these palettes, you want to see swatches, close-ups, tutorials, all of that, I do have videos on these palettes here on my channel. You can definitely check them out. Some of these I may have used multiple times here on my channel. Get ready with me, different things like that. I may have like shorts, like YouTube short form videos on these. So definitely look at my channel, watch my videos if you're curious. But whenever I test new palettes, I always promise to follow up with y'all after I have used all the shades in the palette, after I've played with it more, after I have my full thoughts on it. So that's what today's gonna be. We're just gonna run through, I'm gonna tell you kind of what I loved, what I didn't love, if I loved everything. We are going to talk about it all. So let's start off with, what should we start with? Let's start with a good one. This is the Cosmic Brushes Delicious Delights palette. I love Cosmic Brushes. I think they make great shadows and they also have a really good price point. Now this is a UK based indie brand. This palette was sent to me. Some of the palettes we're going to talk about today I purchased. Some of them were gifted to me. I will try to remember, but definitely check out my videos on the palettes specifically if you are curious about any of that. I will also link everything down below. If I have any affiliate codes, I will pop them on the screen, discount codes, anything like that. It'll all be in the description box. But Cosmic Brushes is... they did a beautiful pastel palette with this one. They are a brand that makes really nice shadows. Their Serenity palette is my favorite. I have this one, I have Muse and Serenity. Serenity, the color story is just my vibe. And then earlier this year they released Muse, which was a more like muted kind of grungy tone color story, and I think this Delicious Delights color story is a perfect addition to the line. These brighter tones, these pastel-y shades like we have here, beautiful. But I love that with these light shades, we also do have this deep dark purple. We have this more kind of like berry grape tone. We do have a primary blue. Like we do have some mid-tones and even a deeper shade in here. I really like that we get this beautiful multi-chrome. We have some like iridescent type shades. Very, very versatile palette. I would recommend this if you were looking for these type of shades. These quality, this quality of these shadows is really good. I just think it's overall super beautiful. I love this kind of light lime shade. I think that's beautiful. And with these pastels, I like that we have a matte white because you can use this matte white to lighten up these shades even further. If you want something even lighter, just mix with the matte white. It's going to be beautiful. I really like this packaging too. And of course, I'm always excited to see what the brand does next. Okay, I purchased the ABH Cosmos palette. This was an exciting release to me. Now, looking at this color story, we have a lot of shimmer shades going on, and we even have some duochromes. Now, you're gonna see with the palettes that I talk about today, and if you look at my channel, if you have not been here, you are new, you're gonna see I really love indie makeup. Indie meaning independently owned. Brands that are not owned by a parent company. I think they just have such fun, creative color stories. They really have some amazing formulas, but I also know that there is something nice about being able to go into an Ulta, a Sephora, being able to order from Beautylish, Beauty Bay, things like that, to where, you know, if you get a palette, you can have it like in your hands. You can have it in your hand right then. I like trying mainstream palettes because I like reviewing makeup. I'm a makeup lover. I want to know what's new. I want to know what's out there. And I like to give options at all different kind of price points, all different, like, all different makeup, mainstream, high-end, indie, all of that. So I was really excited to see this from ABH because I do feel like this is out of the box for a high-end mainstream brand, because we have this beautiful navy shade that is like this matte base with some sparkle. I think this is really beautiful, and we have duochromes that are really sparkly and nice. Definitely check out my video if you haven't seen, because for ABH and for a Sephora Ulta brand, I was really pleased with this. Now, if you have a ton of indie shadow like me, is this going to be the most unique thing in your collection? I don't think so. But it is pretty, and I haven't enjoyed all of the looks I've created with this one. This baby blue sparkly shade, really, really stunning. These shades may look a little similar in the pan, but if you see them swatched out and on the eyes, they are quite different. This is like a slate gray color. It's not super, super deep, but it's also not light. I really like that. I think the mattes in here all blended beautifully together. Of course, if this was me, would I have liked to see some matte blue shadows in here? Yes, but I also understand that these more kind of peachy brown tones, this deep like plum brown over here, that's probably going to appeal to a lot more of the ABH customer. So I think this palette is really pretty. I have enjoyed it a lot. Honestly, it impresses me. The palettes that ABH has done in this format, the Nouveau palette and the Metals palette, I forget, I have videos on both of those. The quality in those palettes, like, ABH has stepped it up. I've enjoyed this palette a lot. I think it's really, really, really pretty. I like the packaging too. I like this kind of cosmos theming, and I hope that we see more like this from ABH. I hope they continue to play with some duochromes, play with some shimmers that have a lot of sparkle to them, and keep incorporating some color in their palettes, because I think this was really fun. Okay, let's talk about Sigma and Angela Bright. This was sent to me, and I really like the Sigma eyeshadow formula. This color story, I think, is so nice from both Sigma and Angela Bright. She has posted so many tutorials on her channel. If you've not watched her videos and you're intrigued by this, definitely go check her out, because she has done a lot with her palette, which I really love. This is what I think is a very smart color story that I think a lot of people will really, really enjoy. I am realizing now I have lipstick on my teeth. If you've been screaming at me in the comments, I'm sorry, I just noticed. Okay, so this palette, we have light neutral shades in this corner right here. We have some dark neutral shades right here on this side of the palette. We have a vanilla shade that I know so many people love vanillas. And then we also have some color. So if you are a neutral lover and you want to dip your toes into some colorful shadows, this could be a really nice palette for you, because you have purple, orange, burgundy, navy, you have an emerald, and these are all shades that I think pair very nicely with the neutrals in here. The Sigma formula is one that I think is really easy to work with. The mattes are easy to blend. You can layer them, you can build them. The shimmers are beautiful, but they also have this smoothness. I don't know if that's a word, but it's a word today. They have this smoothness to them that I think is very flattering on the lid. If you have any texture or anything on your lid that you don't want to emphasize with a lot of sparkle, like I was talking about with the ABH, you can go to Sigma and they're just going to blend very easily. They're going to give you some shine and sparkle and still just look really, really beautiful. I think Angela Bright did a great job. I can tell a lot of thought, a lot of work went into this one. So I do want to say again, congratulations to Angela Bright and to Sigma. Okay, I bought the Don't Be Jelly palette from Unearthly. The day it went up on the site, I was like, I'm going to buy that palette. I collaborated with Unearthly in March. If you haven't seen my collab, it is always linked in the description box. Of course, I think it's amazing, and of course, I love Unearthly. So I knew I would like this palette, but when I saw the color story, I was like, I have to have this. This is bright and fun while still having some depth. I really like this one. I did a video, I think I did 3 looks with this palette, and then I also have a tutorial mixing my Resurgence palette with this one for a fun look. I think the multi-chromes in this palette are out of this world. Honestly, they are so stunning. I love that we have shades that are paired together that make it very easy. If you just want to do a 2 shadow look, put this green in the crease, put this green all over the lid, mascara, you're good to go. Same, put the purple on the crease, lower lash line, throw this on the lid, good to go. Same here, same here. Do that with these blues. Like really easy to work with color story in my opinion because of the way it's laid out. It's laid out very thoughtfully. I like that we have this deep dark shade right here, but all the shadows in here are great quality. They're beautiful. I love every single one. I have loved every look I've done with this one, but Luminescence and Hydrospace are some of the most beautiful multi-chromes I own. They are just next level beautiful. I really like this palette. This could also be a really good companion palette if you do like more neutrals, but you want to add in some color. I mean, you could just put this matte blue on the lower lash line with your brown neutral look and have something really fun. Maybe pop this on your inner corner and you still have the neutral vibe, but you've added in a little bit of unexpected color. Just amazing, amazing quality. I am in love. I am so nervous even just thinking about doing my end of the year palette ranking. It's going to be so difficult, but I know Don't Be Jelly, it's going to be high up there. Okay, Glaminatrix Into the Night. I did a video with this palette and then I also included it in another video. So I do have 2 looks with this one if you want to see it. Glaminatrix is a indie brand based out of Australia and they make really, really pretty shadows. I like this one a lot. I like how deep and dark we go with the mattes, and then I like these light, bright neon mattes too. We do have a neutral shade in here. We have a deep dark green. I really like the silver in this palette. It is so completely beautiful. We have some really pretty shifty shades. I don't know if you'll be able to see in the mirror, but I know for sure you can see in my video how pretty these are. They blend well, they layer well, they're pigmented, and the shimmers are just gorgeous. I really like this shade right here, Happy Hour. I think when looking at this palette, my eye kind of goes right to this area, but this shade is really special. It's this peachy pink with this beautiful like iridescent kind of shimmer to it. Really, really special. I like this. Like, I think this is vegan leather packaging. Really nice, really, really beautiful, and I'm always waiting, like, what are they going to do next? What are they going to do next? I know they've been releasing some single shadows, but this palette is really pretty. Okay, let's talk about the Sirens palette from Jolie Beauty. So, I bought this palette when it launched, and I really enjoy Jolie Beauty. They are another UK-based indie brand, I believe. And I fell in love with Jolie Beauty with their Sorceress palette. And then they had their Vampirism palette. And they've had others since then. Ethereality. There was like a zombified neon palette. So seeing this one, I was like, okay, I have to get this. Now, this palette does have pressed glitters. Some people love pressed glitters. Some people hate pressed glitters. But just so you know, there are 4 pressed glitters in here, and Jolie Beauty does usually add in pressed glitters to their palette. They're not eye safe, like they're not approved for eye use, so just do with that what you will. Just throwing it out there. I always have people mad at me when I talk about pressed glitters, like both ways. Like I have people mad at me that are like, pressed glitters are the best, every palette should have pressed glitters, why don't people like pressed glitters, how dare you say you don't like those, blah 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 blah. Like, I hear you. And then I have people that are like, you're a danger to the public. How dare you talk about a palette with pressed glitters? They're horrible. So listen, you make up your own mind. I like this palette though. I like this color story, so I had to buy this one. Now we do have 2 multi-chromes in here. We have Song and Pearl. And I will say the multi-chromes in Vampirism and Sorceress were a more dry formula, but I do prefer that to this more squishy formula that we have here. I had a couple of days where I did have creasing if I was not careful with these 2 because they are very emollient. Now, if I put down my glitter primer, glitter adhesive, whatever type of special sticky primer, and I made sure I went in with a really light layer, I let it fully set. I did not have creasing that way, so just letting you know, but they are very beautiful, very strong shift to the shadows. I think these shimmers are very nice, very pretty. Some of them are so impactful, like this one, really truly beautiful. I also like that this palette, we have a very light shimmer in this purple, and then we have some deeper purples over here. I really like this row of grungy, or not row, these like 2 to 3 rows really of these grungy kind of green olivey tones. I think that is really, really fun. I think this is a nice, pretty palette. I love the theming. That is something that Jolie Beauty is going to do, and they're going to do well, and that is a theme, and I'm here for it. Okay, let's talk about these 2 palettes from Oden's Eye. We have the Stone and Rock palette and the Jewels and Gems. So we'll talk about them together and separately. I love Oden's Eye. They're a favorite brand for me. I love their stuff. I remember placing my first Oden's Eye order years ago, getting the stuff in and being like, oh yeah, I like this. I like this brand. And they have continued to get better and better and better. And these palettes, they're so good. Let's talk about Stone and Rock. So this one, probably my personal favorite because of the color story. Green is my favorite color. It's just my favorite. It's always been my favorite color. So the greens in this palette, they do something for me. We do have a multi-chrome in this palette. We have some of Oden's Eyes. Y'all know what I mean. We have some of their beautiful matte formulas. I love that we have a white. I love that we have a black. That makes the palette so versatile to me. I love a white and I love a black because you can lighten shades up, you can deepen shades up. I love this shade right here, this grungy shade Madness. We do have some pretty more like brown tones. If that's what you're looking for, you can definitely create a brown neutral smoky eye with this if that's what you prefer, or you can do something completely green. We have this shade that's kind of this iridescent shifty shade. It may look super like just like a white shimmer in the pan, but it has this beautiful tone to it. We have several different formulas in this palette, and I really like that. I like when a palette puts several different formulas in one palette rather than just mattes and shimmers. I like when we have variety because I think it can give some really pretty texture to the eye look. I'm just into it. And then we have the Jewels and Gems palette. I love this one so much too. Like, listen, if a makeup maniac came into my room, they took all my makeup, I could not fight them off fast enough, I would be on the site repurchasing these. Like, I love. So this palette, whereas this one is more greens and neutrals, this one we have some mauve tones and neutrals. I really like that we have some blues. We definitely have some sparkle. There's another multi-chrome in this one. and just really, really beautiful. It goes from light to dark in the mattes, which I really like. These are two other palettes that are definitely going to be contenders for like the top of my palette ranking at the end of the year. They're so good. Now, I would like to hear from y'all. Do you want me to do like a mid-year favorites video? Let me know. I've been debating it, but I would love to hear from y'all. Do you want me to do like a mid-year favorites video? Like now that we're halfway through 2023, should I put together something? Let me know. I would love to hear from you. But we have this really like pearlized sparkly shade here that I love. Overall, really, really amazing release from Oden's Eye. Okay, I love Lunar Beauty. I love Lunar Beauty. I think they make such amazing products. I've also been enjoying Laura Lee Los Angeles. I bought their last release, and seeing Laura Lee and Manny MUA, their brands, Laura Lee Los Angeles and Lunar Beauty, team up. It's the collab we've been waiting for. You know, like I was wondering, like, when is this gonna happen? When are they gonna work together? I know they're besties. When are we gonna have a collab? We have the collab palette in Full Fantasy. This is such a pretty neutral with some color palette. You know, it's not just a neutral palette with one pop of color. No, we have some beautiful neutral tones. We have some beautiful bronzy tones, but then we have some color. We have some greens, some olives. We have some purpley tones. We have this blue-brown duochrome here. Like, we have options. And you can create very light neutral looks. If you have light to fair skin tone and you love these very light shades, or you're like me, you love light tones to give you a lot of contrast to your look, you have those. You can do a light look, but you also have the depth, the dark shades, and I am here for it. This is a beautiful palette. If you have the Nude Prism, I think it was the Nude Prism eyeshadow palette, I feel like the formulas in this palette are the matte formulas of this palette, but we do have, yes, the mattes, right? That's what I said, yes. And then we have lipstick on my teeth again, y'all. And then we also have some different shimmer formulas in here. So we don't have all the same shimmers, which I like. I said earlier, I like when we have different textures and things in palettes. So we do have some very pretty shimmer shades, very smooth. We do have duochrome, and then we do have some shimmers that are a little more sparkly than others, which I really enjoy. I think they did a great job on this palette. I love the packaging. I'm really having fun with that one. Last but not least, I have the Gourmand Girls Sierra Soto Warriors Wear Pink palette. This palette I think is sweet. This is such a sweet palette. This is Gourmand Girls and the owner of Gourmand Girls' friend, Sierra Soto, who is battling breast cancer. This is a palette that is inspired by that, a collaboration, and a part of the profits of this palette will go to her and her fight with breast cancer. So I wanted to show you this palette again, the beautiful pink shades. We do have a beautiful multi-chrome in here. I like the color story. I think this is such a pretty color story with the dark shades, the light shades. We have some pinks and purples with this beautiful pop of blue. And I just wanted to show y'all this palette again. I think it is a great cause, and I love to see friends that support one another. I just think that's so sweet. I do have a video with that palette where I'm showing swatches and a tutorial. Definitely check it out. And, you know, even if you decide not to purchase this palette, that's completely fine. But you could definitely go and leave some comments, some hearts, some support, because battling breast cancer is not easy, so I'm sure she will appreciate all the love and support that you can send her. I definitely wanted to show that. I think that is so just, yeah, very sweet to see friends supporting one another, lifting each other up. I am done. That is all 10 palettes. What I like, maybe what I don't like. you know, I hope you enjoyed this video. I always think it is important to follow up reviews. It's something that I really enjoy doing here on my channel. I love doing first impression videos, tutorials, get ready with me, things like that. But whenever I'm trying something new, I do like to follow up. I will have another review coming soon because I have been testing some new foundations and things like that. So I need to follow up with y'all on those things as well. If you like my makeup, I will list all the products like down below in the description box. This was my member exclusive video for the month of July. I have to remember what month are we in. Thank you so much for watching. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe so my videos will stay in your subscription feed. And I will see y'all very soon in another video. Bye!